Are there any questions? And thank you for, yes, go ahead.
Question. You know, we have telephones, we have cell phones, we have radio and so forth. What can you see as an advantage to having a ham radio, especially in times of emergency, or what are some of the benefits of having that in those situations?
So there's a place off the coast of India called the Andaman Islands. Well, there's an indigenous population. And the Indian government felt that we don't want to pollute their culture with ham radio, things like that. So it's going to be illegal to talk to that. Of course, if you want to talk to every country in the world, oh, well, the guys make it up. We don't want to make a good game. I mean, if you want to have a game, let's have fun. There's 50 states, right? And, oh, well, then there's the Vatican in Rome. But that counts as a separate country because they have their own government, separate from Italy. I don't know why it's a separate country, because it's so far from the United States. Alaska's a separate country because, you know, I mean, come on, you know. So we make the game fun. So if you're more than 225 miles, and the rules have changed, it's a little different now, but about. And if you have a separate government, then it's a separate country. So we get to talk to all the countries. Well, Andaman Islands had not allowed any ham radio for 30 or 40 years. And the one station that everybody needed a country was Andaman Islands and North Korea. But so finally some gentle Indian woman with a soft way, maybe you could let us do an experimental thing and just see how it goes. And she sweet-talked her way in, and she had a group of people, and they said, okay, go ahead and do it. So they sent her to the Andaman Islands. And she got on the air. And talked to him, and I was so thrilled. I was, you know, the last country I needed. And out of 335 or something like that. It was a very big deal, and I've been doing it years. Well, a friend of mine in San Francisco, Gary, I called him, Gary, Andaman Islands, and we met. You want to make the game more fun? You can't just talk to him. You got to talk to him on 3.5 megahertz, then you got to talk to them on 4, 7, and 10, and 14, you know, so, you know, there's more wild cards, you know, you get to have a higher score, and it's more fun. So we do that. So I said, hey, they're on some megahertz, I don't remember which one, but I'm hearing them loud and clear. I mean, and it's very unusual, you know, that the conditions are that good. Maybe it was 4 megahertz, it's hard to do that. And he said, okay. And the phone call back, I don't hear them at all. They're loud. They're not there. Couldn't figure out what happened. Remember the tsunami? It came and knocked all the commercial communications out. There was no contact with Andaman Islands at all, except for ham radio. And for 2 days, the only contact from the Indian government to the Andaman Islands was via ham radio. Let me tell you, they reconsidered. That just turned them 180 degrees around about ham radio and the emergency. Yeah, that was great. Yeah.
For radio communication novices, what are the relative frequencies used for like ham radio compared to CV radio compared to like marine radios and so forth? So you can like see where the spectrums are.
All right, here we go. This is fun. Right, so here we go. There's 2 megahertz, and there's 30 megahertz. Ham radio, CV is at 27 megahertz. This is pretty high. This is just about the limit to where you get much higher than that, and then the signals, they go beyond a certain, they bend, they don't quite make it back down, okay? I mean, occasionally they do. But, so, conditions have to be pretty good for a CB to talk. Now, of course, you know you're limited to 5 watts on CB. But you can buy 1,000-watt amplifiers for your truck. Oh, yeah. And the FCC, I don't know, it's really a kind of a toothless dog. I mean, it just They just don't spend any money on enforcement. Now, actually, it's funny, your question about what language, you know, I was going to say that we don't talk about sex, we don't use four-letter words, and we don't talk about politics in general, because you can wax so indignant, you know, we keep it to the family, the weather, our radios.
No business, too.
Yeah, and you don't conduct business on him.
And no music.
No music, yes, that's right, no music. That's right, no music. So anyhow, the Citizens Band is up here at 27 megahertz, and so the conditions up there are such that during the day, when the ionosphere is, you know, the sun's coming down, Miley, that's high enough, by the way, it gets through the D layer. D layer doesn't stop, goes on and up. You can talk, all over the United States when conditions are really good. When you want to, if I took a little flashlight bulb, just a naked bulb right here, you know, and we turned all the lights out, we would fairly dimly light the whole room. We could probably, it's like a candle or something. But then I could put a reflector in back of it, and I could have a white spot on the wall there. Well, we do that with ham radio. We have what we call a dipole antenna, and they radiate mostly perpendicular. Well, you can put another one behind it, it's a little bit longer, and another one in front of it a little bit shorter, and this acts as a reflector, and that acts as a director, and it focuses your power, and you can get be 8 times more power out the front of that, and so those are cool. And of course, it rejects all the interference from behind. So for when you want to talk long distances, you put up one of these Yagi antennas, or beams, or what they call them, and they look. Now you've seen TV antennas, right? Like that. TV. It's just like this much of a TV antenna, you know, just and that works pretty well. Citizens Band is up here. Marine radio is below 2 megahertz, or well, actually no, right around 2 to 3 megahertz, right? 2.5, something like that. Yeah. So it's right down here near the bottom. The characteristics of CD are that usually at night, unless we're at the peak of sunspot cycle, there's, you know, you don't talk anywhere but direct, you know, like 10 miles or something like that. And marine radio during the day, you're not going to have any long distances, but at night you could. Did I answer your question, or did I get
pretty
lost?
much? Yeah. I mean, aside from ham radio, and are there any other common uses available to people?
Yeah.
Citizens?
Anyone listen to shortwave radio? I mean, we used to listen to Radio Moscow. I mean, years ago. Not that you could believe anything they said, but they would talk about things that our government wouldn't talk about. We weren't talking about it. Now, what they're saying wasn't the truth, but at least you knew there was something going on. You see, and you'd figure things out that way. So that was Radio Moscow. And okay, so the shortwave broadcasts are. If here's the ham radio bands, 3.5, 7, 14, and there's some new ones in between, 21 and 28 up here. They have the 41 meter band, which is right here. You know, you look on the radio, you'll see all these. And there's little sections here where they have foreign broadcasting. And those are interlaced between the ham radio frequencies. Okay? Yeah. Oh, yeah, I'll get you there. Go ahead.
So, CV, you could technically go around the world?
If you had an illegally powered transmitter, and you had a Yagi antenna, and you were on top of a hill, and the conditions were just right,
But it's not there.
no, you're not supposed to. But you could.
So can you listen to ham guys talking on the shortwave radio?
Oh, everybody, we can all listen. It's a giant party line. Yeah, you don't want to say anything.